Well, today I'm installing a Class 3, it's more like a Class 2, but same hitch receiver as a 3, on the Mercedes W163 ML320. Pretty simple, just have to remove the rear bumper first. That's 4 10mm bolts. We'll be back to that in a second. So this is all the trailer hitch it is. It is the hitch that bolts onto the bumper part, backing plate, and some bolts. That's about it. Pretty simple. My dogs won't shut up. Anyway, back and get set up, get the tools already, and be back in a second. This is about a 10-minute job to remove the bumper, so back in a second. Okay, step one is to remove 3 plastic bumper covers, the tow hook covers here. I'm using a plastic tool. You can use a screwdriver if you're careful. And then pop the middle one off. And what you're going to see is 3 10mm bolts. There's 2 here. And then there's 1 in here. And 1 in there. Hopefully none of these snap on us. There's 1. 2. And when I did one of these last time, these bolts snapped, so let's hope not. One. And 2. Now we're just going to grab the whole bumper and pull it out, pull straight back and out. And that is it. Nice and simple. So here's the stock. I don't know what this little part is. I tried to figure that out. It's like a little spring on there. It's spring loaded. So I don't know what that is for. Possibly on the stock hitch, but here's the 4 holes where that trailer hitch is going to bolt onto. So we'll get the stuff ready and we'll be back in a minute. We're going to be thread locking these in. So I don't know what size these bolts are. Let's find out. They look like about 21s. Back in a second. They could be Imperial too, so not sure. Actually, before I put everything back on, I'm going to spray some paint on those little rusty spots. So we'll be back in a second. Okay, so I've thread locked all the bolts. They are 21mm. These ones are, depends on the kit you get, what size they're going to be. And you're going to have the hitch and then a bracket that pushes it out past this little piece here. If you put this flat on, it wouldn't be flush, so this just extends it out past that. And you're simply going to install 4 bolts. Get in there. measuring the space, eyeballing the space up here to make sure this is level. And now I put those on, that's probably about 105, 110 foot-pounds. I'm going to check the spec and I'll get back to you in 1 second. I want to find out what to tighten them to for the final torque. Okay, so 120 foot-pounds is the torque spec. Wow, I thought my impact had gotten a lot closer than that, but I guess it didn't. That's 120. I guess because of the paint inside the original threaded holes in the bumper probably had something to do with slowing it down a little bit and adding a little more drag. And that is it. Oh, Magnus is the name of the company. I'd never heard of it before, but saw it on Amazon for $90 Canadian, which is like, what, $5 American, more like 70 US, 90 Canadian. So anyway, I mean, a hitch is a hitch is a hitch. Welds look fine, nice and beefy. I don't know. Can't see anybody going through the trouble of making hitches that are complete crap, but I'm not dragging anything very heavy anyway. But anyway, that's about it. I was going to do the wiring tonight, but I don't have time, so I'm just going to lay the wiring down under the bumper because I want it to come back down under the bumper. And I'll show you the one last thing, the hitch cover. Well, it looks like it's going to have to be cut. So anyway, I'll cover that in 2 seconds. I'm going to put the bumper back on. It just slides when you put it on. See these clips here? Those slide into this plastic slot here. So it just slides in, and that locates it. Looks like someone had that off at some time before. So on both sides, it's just got the slots. It slides in, and bolt it back on. I think I'm going to paint over those rusty metal tabs, but this cover here may need to be cut. Probably does need to be cut to cover where that sticks out. But anyway, I'll show you that once I pop the bumper back on. Back in a second. Oh, sorry, back a little bit later. Had something to do for a neighbor across the street. Again, I'm not wiring the trailer hitch today, but I need to run the wiring under the bumper, so it's going to come out and be under the bumper cover. So I'm just attaching the wiring, the battery isolator. It's an isolator that's powered so that it can work with a CAN bus system like this without hurting anything. I'm not going to wire them up. I just got the wiring sitting in here, and it's just the isolator, the module, is sitting on the bottom of the passenger side taillight housing, and that just comes off. There's two 10 mil plastic nuts like this that unscrew, and the whole taillight assembly just pops out, and there's plenty of room for this in here, and this is waterproof. It's a Kurt. I don't know the number on it. Let me grab the number off the box. Kurt model number. What is the model number? Oh, 59146. So it's a Kurt 59146, and it will work with this Mercedes model, no problem. And it's waterproof as long as it's stuck. I mean, it's not direct. You're not going to stick it out in direct sunlight. or rain, where the water's going to hit it. But it's mounted underneath here, and there's not a lot of dirt and everything that gets up under there once the bumper cover's on, so it's fine there. And that allows me to run my wiring under here. And then later on, when I want to hook it up, I can just pop the tail light off instead of having to pull the whole bumper off again. So anyway, I'm just going to pop this back on, and then I'll put the bumper on, and then we will discuss cutting the hole for that hitch. Back in a second. Okay, so the bumper's back on. Actually, I didn't need to pre-mount the wiring because there is enough room to just wiggle the wiring down in between the bumper, the gap between the bumper and the body. So I didn't really need to pre-do that, but it's done, so it doesn't matter. These can be popped back in now. And then pull off the center one. See two little arrows? There's a little square slot right there that they pull out of. You just kind of have to turn them sideways to pull them out. And now we're just going to, obviously this isn't going to fit, so we're going to lay it on there, match it up from side to side, like center this, and then mark with a Sharpie approximately where we're going to have to cut. Oops. Center that up again. So there to there. And then how deep? It's about 2 inches. So I'm going to start there. I'm going to take that amount off. I'm just going to draw this. I'm going to cut about that amount out. And if I need to go deeper, I'll just keep making it deeper and deeper until it's dead on in there. Actually, I might need to make a little groove like this and a little square in the center for this structural thingy, little brace. Not 100% sure, but it looks like I'm going to have to. Oh, you know what? Actually, it looks like when this goes back, it's going to hit here too. So I'm going to have to widen it all the way. So now do I cut it or leave it? So I cut it when I take it, whatever. I'm going to cut it. No fun not cutting it, for God's sakes. So obviously down here it's going to have to be even a little bit wider to get over that. Yeah, because this slides down underneath, so it is going to have to widen. So I'm going to cut this, I'm going to figure it out, and then I'll kind of show you when I'm done the size I had to cut out. For this particular hitch, different ones are going to be different. But for this one, I'm going to have to cut that wider at the bottom. Back in a second. Well, this ended up being the final shape I had to cut to fit it on, and you'll notice that one side, the left side, has got a bigger opening than the right. That's the way the factory cover is. It's a little off-center, the factory cover of the hitch, maybe for the wiring to come out. I'm assuming the factory wiring loom would maybe come out slightly to the side. The hitch itself is centered in the bumper. The bumper cover itself is not 100% in the center. So anyway, this is how I had to cut it out. Depending on your trailer hitch, obviously it may be different. I'm going to pop this on, I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so there's a hitch cover in place. Not much, too much of a difference from having no cover on there whatsoever, but it does look a little more finished. Damn, that hitch does stick out an awful lot, doesn't it? Whatever, it's there, so when it rear ends me, it's going to be like a javelin in their frickin' front bumper. So, anyway, that's the trailer hitch installation. Thanks for watching. I'm just going to tuck up that wiring and get it out of the way until I have it fully installed. Thanks for watching.